You know that bitch tits has also been a term that's been canceled, Greg.
By who?
Mad boobies.
The Bitch Tits Society?
Yes,
The
of
itty
America.
bitty titty committee?
My name is Captain Schlargy. I'm with the Bitch
No,
Tits
it
Society.
was the itty bitty titty committee.
Captain who?
The Schlargy.
Schlargy.
He's from Eastern Europe.
And he was known for his prodigious tits.
Welcome to another episode of the Law Offices of Quibble, Squabble, and Bicker. This is July 20th, 2022.
Sorry.
Greg is interrupting. What did you want to say, Greg?
I want to say a very hot, sweaty episode.
It is the hot and sweaty episode of the Law Offices of Quibble,
I am wearing
Squabble,
no
and Bicker.
shirt and I'm wearing my boxer shorts.
Yes, we want to apologize for Greg's nudity to everybody. We are very sad that that's the case. We're even sadder for the fact that Brendan has to see it close up because Brendan has moved from Florida and has joined us in Oregon, and he's currently living in Greg's apartment,
Through that curtain.
no more than 10 feet from Greg's sweaty nipples right now.
So there might be a little echo today, but think of it as cool reverb. Like
It'll be a little bit of
concert.
reverb coming from Brendan's neck of the woods over there.
Yeah.
Anyway, at some point, we are going to discuss our newest client, Culture Shaka Khan.
Behold, trapped in a hellscape of their own invention, socially unaware old white men bound by the pretense of being fake lawyers yet knowing no law, no exquisite Latin terminology, they are inexplicably compelled to quibble over minutia, squabble over triflings, and bicker like those who value their backyards far too highly without even knowing the difference between an easement and an alleyway. At this very moment, you have entered the heart of the Law Offices of Quibble, Squabble, and Bicker. Let's get started.
Hey there, Mom. Are you tired of struggling in the kitchen to feed your unthankful brats? Looking for a place to drop them off for like 2 hours or so for food and a good life lesson? Well, suffer and look no further. Bring the whole family down to Nick's Chicken and Bees. That's right, the only buttermilk crispy chicken breast covered in jalapeno jelly and live motherfucking bees. Oh man, that's a real goddamn surprise. If you thought they were kidding, nope, they're not. This is not a joke. Spoiler it, dumb shit. There are bees, live fucking bees in the sandwich. That's right, Mom. We'll teach those little entitled little shits a lesson. Don't like my garden salad, Trevor? Well, fuck you. Eat a bee. Nick's Chicken and Bees. We'll make sure your kid eats a bee. We're all going to get stung as hell trying. Nick's Chicken and Bees. Come and get it, bitch.
Why is it just to mom? Don't dads take their kids to restaurants? Or what is it? Their moms?
Well,
Is
you
the
know,
mom
you have to
child?
target a particular demographic, so
Why not 100% of the demographic?
it could be more moms than dads take their kids to Chicken and Bees.
Hey, moms.
Dad might just take him
At
outside.
first, I thought he was just referring to you, Greg, when he said that. So he's like your new nickname. His new nickname for you is it's Moms.
Mom's baby.
Mom's Pedix. Greg, Mom's Pedix.
Mama Pedix.
If I lowered the camera like 6 inches, you'd see what
jeez.
a mom's I look like.
We don't want to see your moms at all.
Yeah. My moms.
All right.
Mons Venus.
I like Chicken and Bees. I wanted to do one on Chicken and Bees, but that was way better than I could have
I
come
tell
up
you, I really want a jingle for Chicken and Bees. I know there's got to be a good one.
with. That should be like Smart Mart or Smart.
Safe Mart?
Safe Mart. That should be a regular thing. Chicken and Bees.
Chicken and bees, chicken and bees. Everybody likes their chicken and bees, chicken and bees.
Jalapeno jelly and bees. Yum, yum.
Little logo.
And also, just to let everybody know, we're going to be doing a road trip in a couple of weeks to Idaho because one of our guests in the past, a guy by the name of Icavelli, is a comedian based out of New Jersey. He's doing a show in Idaho, and we decided the road trip out there to be about 7 hours. And we're going to do a whole big thing. We're going to take video, and I don't know how exciting this could be. It might not be exciting at all, but at the very least, it'll be the three of us in a car together, potentially getting COVID because Brendan's not vaccinated. Who knows? That's what my wife thinks is going to happen. So, anyway,
Better than AIDS or herpes.
Yes, we're hoping that we don't come down with either of those on the way to the show either, or pneumonia, or even a bad case of foot rot.
With a croup.
Yes, whooping cough. We don't want any of that either.
The dropsy.
But
Brendan better not give me the dropsy. I'll be pissed off.
Yeah, or polio for that matter.
I'm going to give you both rickets.
I was expecting some osteoporosis as well. All right, well, let's move on to our client, Culture Shaka Khan, which essentially came out of the concept of Brendan moving here from Florida. And also, we all three of us are transplants from the East Coast to a certain extent, and experienced our own forms of culture shock moving to the Pacific Northwest, as well as other places that we moved to in our lives. But I'd like Brendan to kind of tell the story of his travel across country with his special pants that he wore leaving Florida. He wore some Fourth of July pants, American flag pants, kind of like what's his name wore in Napoleon Dynamite, the guy who did the Taekwondo class. He wore these patriotic pants. I'll put the picture up whenever I edit this, but Brendan, please tell us first of all your ideology behind the purchasing of the pants and what you expected to experience, what you actually experienced for our client, Culture Shaka Khan.
Shaka Khan. It was a Shaka Khan in that the idea was I was going to arrive from Florida to Portland. So I thought that seemed like a weird transition. So I wanted to sort of embody that Florida man spirit. So I wore a Circle Jerks t-shirt, and then the stripes and stars pajamas.
And you had a baby alligator in your backpack.
Yeah, practically.
A baby alligator.
The funny.
He had Cthulhu. He had Cthulhu in his backpack.
Kind of like an alligator. He's green. So I'm leaving Florida, and I got several people to kind of like, I got to Minneapolis. That dropped to about 50-50. And one guy goes, "Yeah, I like your shorts. I like your pants." I got to Portland. I walked off, and there was a disdain that I could almost no one thought I was trying to be funny.
You got the stink eye.
Yeah, I just got a lot of stink eye. It was funny. I had a good time. Did I expect differently? Not really.
So what does stink eye look like? Like you're looking at the back of Greg's head, basically.
That Mr. Magoo thing. Anyway.
Portlandians have a way of giving the stink eye. It's very subtle. A passive-aggressive stink eye where, you've done wrong. You don't know why. You don't know what you've transgressed, but you just get a little subtle look from people, and you're like, I don't belong.
It's a subtle look. How did you pick it up then?
Who, me?
No, Greg. I said, Greg said it's a subtle look, and I was just wondering how he picked it up.
You don't understand. When you're drunk, you're more intuitive. You're more in touch with your feelings and other people's feelings.
I was in touch with my feelings the whole flight over.
Yeah.
I didn't realize until today that during Brendan's flight across country, he was actually attending the Happy Hour News Team podcast while he was in Minnesota.
What?
That's right. When I got off the plane in Minneapolis, I had an hour and a half layover, and I was like, oh my God, they're online. So I got in, I was chatting from the bar and put the headphones on. I was listening, and then all of a sudden I took my headphones off. And I'm like, shit. And I almost missed the plane.
This makes me so sad that they got the exclusive.
They were live.
I know. We should have had a special podcast that night. Brendan's moving.
Brendan had other things on his mind than doing the podcast.
Maybe later. Maybe
that
not.
would have been all extra Culture Shaka Khan.
I think that our trip to Boise, Idaho is going to be What was that movie with the gals in the Winnebago?
Like Thelma and Louise?
No. They did it twice. One, they did it with.
It's like the three of us are going to go off a cliff.
There's some cliffs in Idaho we could do that on, but it's not a Thelma and Louise thing. So long.
Something with a Winnebago? Is that Rat Race?
Yeah. To Wong Foo, thanks for everything.
Oh,
Right.
And then
that was with Patrick Swayze and Wesley Snipes,
what was
right?
the Australian one called? The original. What was that called?
Something of the Desert. Priscilla,
Queen of the Desert.
Priscilla, Queen of the Desert. That's it. Yeah,
So
but we're not
going.
we're not going in drag.
We're gonna become drag queens.
I might.
Brent, well, I'm not good at dressing up
so
for things.
proud. I could be so happy with us if we did that. Like really contributed to the night.
He's gonna be damn happy that we show up at all. We're coming like 7 freaking hours to see this thing.
I want a feather boa. At least a feather boa.
Okay, in the movie To Wong Foo, so who would be the John Leguizamo? Who would be the Patrick Swayze? Who would be the Wesley Snipes of us? If you remember, Patrick Swayze was the matronly, like kind of leader. She was like B. Arthur and Golden Girls.
You know, the fun thing about us doing this live on TikTok is I get fun comments like, "Hi, grandfather." Hello, witty 1828. Thank you for accepting me as your grandfather. Anyway,
You think you spawned a grandchild that you didn't know about?
I think I would have known.
They're coming out of some little portal. They're just popping out.
Right. A TikTok grandchild.
But basically, John Leguizamo was like the prettiest of them, the youngest and most immature.
Was he prettier than Swayze?
Oh yeah, but Patrick Swayze looked like a dude. John
Okay.
Leguizamo looked kind of hot as a transition.
Well, that's true, because Leguizamo, I think in his stand-up, or at least his one-man show, he would often wear drag, too. So
Okay, yeah.
that makes sense that he's used to that.
He was like the young, like Twinkie, like just kind
He
of.
looked like a Twinkie? A chocolate-covered Twinkie, or just
I
a
meant
regular
twink.
Twinkie?
like
not the
twink,
yellow
young
kind.
kid.
No, I like the fact that he
Not-
looked like a
Not
Twinkie.
the yellow kind, just the
He's
regular
like-
Okay.
kind.
He just looked like a piece of cream-filled sponge cake, is what John Leguizamo
Well,
looked
I
like.
probably couldn't say that Wesley Snipes looked like a chocodile. That would be offensive, maybe. If you're going to go with this analogy.
I was going to go with Ding Dong, but Chocodile's even better, really. Ding Dong was the low-hanging fruit.
I don't know that I've ever seen a chocodile. What is that?
I have.
thing?
I know exactly what he's talking about.
They were,
I think I've heard
was
of
a
it, but it's something
Twinkie
with chocolate that
chocolate
looks
around
like a crocodile.
No, it was a Twinkie. I don't know why they call it a chocodile. I think they had a cute little character crocodile that they wanted to push, but it was Twinkie with chocolate around it. Pretty much that's
It was
what
a
it was.
chocolate. Yeah, it was a Twinkie
With
covered in
icing.
chocolate.
So just a chocolate covered Twinkie.
It
Yeah,
lasted
but
for like 20 years. It was around for a while. It wasn't
But
just
it was the chocolate that like snappy chocolate, like on a Ding Dong.
snappy
or a-
chocolate.
And then
A
it went
ho-ho.
and then it went extinct.
Cool.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah. But it lasted for a while.
I love
It
those
lasted
things.
for what? I mean, like you would, if you started eating it, it would last a long time.
I've got
Until they
one of
stopped
my.
selling.
I got one of my shit right now. I've been eating
Still,
on
Brett
that
is still
since,
trying to finish it.
since middle school.
He has one bite left.
It's
He's gonna
like-
do it.
Better than an everlasting gobstopper. It's the everlasting
Yeah.
chocodile.
Brendan
Uh,
likes to finish what he starts, and he's gonna eat that last bite.
One molecule of chocodile at a time.
I owe it to my mother. I stole it from her.
You stole your mother's chocodile?
Mhm.
Well, that's not a very good son, are you?
No, I'm not a horrible person.
Anyway, so Brendan arrives in Portland, and then he finds that everyone here is demanding that he gets vaccinated. Like within like 5 minutes of arrival, they're like, "What the hell? What's
Because
going
in
on with you?"
Florida, they were like, "Good for you. You're not vaccinated. You're not wearing a mask. We love it."
No,
Chad,
no,
you're wearing
let's see her.
that face diaper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a funny term that I've heard people use for the mask. Because I'm like, is that what people think is happening in the masks? They think people are actually taking dumps in their mask or something.
Mouth
Yeah,
dumps.
no, that's totally exactly what they're thinking. They're not
I-
trying to be funny.
I think they're
They're
just
being
saying,
literal.
They
really
are.
think they're-
I had a feeling anybody who would use it that way would be literal about it.
Yeah. No, I
Yeah.
get it.
It makes sense to
anyone
me.
that dumb to use that term would think that poop is coming out of our mouths.
You know, we're basically talking to you, Sanchez Eldorado.
But
What? Sanchez is an anti-vaxxer?
No. Oh, well, I mean, maybe he is. I have no idea.
What the?
Brendan's not an anti-vaxxer.
What the?
Well, he's not an anti-vaxxer, but he's an anti-vaxxer for himself. He hasn't got the vax.
He's an anti-Pfizer.
That's like a. You know what, Greg? You're an a flosser.
Well, because I'm lazy.
Okay, there you go. Do you think you should floss?
Oh yeah.
If I came in and flossed your teeth for you, would you probably do it more often?
Yes, but if I could
Okay.
Wait. I think that's an offer, Greg.
No, it's not. It's not an offer.
If I could give tooth decay to someone by not flossing, I'd probably do it because I'm part of the social contract.
But
I would be like,
but everybody can give everybody plaque, regardless of whether you floss or not.
Wait, they give people plaque?
Well, at least something with your name on it.
Does plaque jump out of people's mouths and like?
It does when you're talking to them. I've seen it happen.
Oh, that's spit. That's just plain old.
You don't think plaque
saliva.
is in there? You don't think plaque's on its little spit horse riding into your mouth? Said, "Yeehaw! Here I go. I'm spreading. I'm
Spit
spreading
horse."
this plaque." I mean, come on. You've
The
all
visual
seen
I
it.
had on that was awesome.
So
Black
is the
rat,
saddle
little
made of-
spit horse.
Is the saddle made of tartar?
Yeah,
On a tartar saddle? On the
encapsulated.
spin horse?
Yeah. Got a little plaque gun. So yeah,
Okay.
I'm officially some sort of weird vampire in this part of the world. I didn't realize I had the distinction of.
Brendan, to be honest, if you moved 60 blocks east, you'd be fine. It's just this, like, I don't know, 100 blocks, maybe 80 blocks.
It doesn't even have to be 60 block east, Greg. I mean, I'm sure there's an area within your own particular apartment complex that he would be welcome.
Yes, there's a few
Yeah.
people.
Like
welcome.
the two old ladies, I think, directly to your
but if I was
to the
on-
north of you, south of you.
If I was on 80s, if we were on 90th right now and Division, Brendan would have many more high fives for
90th and Division. That's an interesting section of
just
town
anywhere,
you're picking.
anywhere east
No
of
one
maybe second.
cares. Other than the fact that I have a ghetto that I need to go find and live there with the rest of my second class citizens.
It's like the island of misfit toys.
Brendan will now only be referred to as Step and Fetch It from now on.
Yeah, just give me some slave name or
You can't say that, man.
call.
Why
call
can't I
them
say that,
Smokey.
Greg?
I don't know.
It's canceled. Step and Fetch has been canceled.
Well, if you're referring to certain individuals, yes, absolutely, Greg. But you can still use it as a metaphor.
Well, I was being sarcastic, man. I know you could.
Oh, it's
I-
hard to
I-
tell if you're sarcastic considering how your glazed appearance is coming through
And I'm
the
not
through the
drinking, but I
camera.
drank before I got here.
Right now,
I still want booze right now so bad.
your chest is glazed. Is my point.
It's like a donut.
We not talk about that.
It's Bavarian cream.
Let's not
all
talk
over
about
me.
that. Let's not talk about that.
Apparently, that's disturbing Brendan by having this discussion about
Especially because
your
I'm 8
appearance.
feet away from him.
All right, so Greg, what's a time in your life where you experienced culture shock?
I haven't had many. I'm like a hobbit. I've always been very just like, I don't want to do an adventure. I've had to in my life just move to places. But I've never moved to someplace that radical. Like you went to the Philippines.
Yeah.
Brendan's like gone to Alaska on an outward bound personal journey. I've never done anything that exciting. I've just been like, I moved to Chicago. It was kind of a little scary. But
Well, I mean, you grew up in a small town in upstate
very
New York,
suburbia.
right? A suburban town, and then you moved from there to Chicago or to Arizona? Where did you go
Arizona,
from New York?
Which Arizona
So wouldn't that have been a bit of culture shock going from New York to Arizona?
really wasn't much. I mean, everyone in Arizona, half the people in town had moved there from Chicago or New York, like because of the university there. It's such a there's so many New Yorkers there. And it's hotter, yeah. It's a different climate, and there's palm trees. That was interesting. I felt like I was in paradise just because there's palm trees around. I was like, palm trees equal paradise, according to my TV viewing.
Yeah.
seeing Hawaii and LA in TV shows, like on Chips. So I was like, oh, I'm in paradise. But it was not really paradise. It was a very hot, dry place. But they did have palm trees.
Now, did you often go around without your shirt on in Arizona too?
No, because back then I was like so like full of self-hatred. In summertime in Tucson, I would wear, like 100-degree weather, I would wear a denim jacket over my t-shirt to hide my bitch tits and my fat. I'd be like, and people would be like, why are you wearing a jacket? It's fucking hot as fuck. I was like, twist style.
You know that bitch tits has also been a term that's been canceled, Greg.
Okay,
By who?
Mad boobies.
The bitch Tits Society?
Yes, of America.
My name is Captain Slargy. I'm with the bitch Tits Society.
It was the itty bitty titty committee.
Captain who?
The Schlargy.
Schlargy.
He's from Eastern Europe.
And he was known for his prodigious tits.
Specifically from which part of Eastern Europe? Bulgaria, maybe, or
Turkestan.
Latvia? He's Latvian, isn't he?
Yes, Latvian.
He's mammarian. But I've never had much culture shock. I've never been to a place where I was just like, I went to Italy. That was the first time I went to Europe, and it just has slight differences. It's like, the bars have food, free food. Like,
the bars have food. Well, that's unusual.
Free food. They've got like they have like they're like cafes, and there's like, why you drink? There's just this free like there's like gabagoo and bread and cheese.
Wait, you said gabagoo.
Yeah, they say that.
Which is a Sopranos term, but not a real term for the food.
It is free. I grew up as an American Italian, and that's what some people said that.
But you're only partially Italian, so you can't use that either.
But what is gabagoo?
It's capicola.
That was like the nickname.
It's a type of salami.
Like a great salami. It's like a really nice salami. Like, it's really good.
Really nice salami.
You probably had it.
Oh.
It's a nice piece of salami. You probably had it, and you just didn't know it was called.
And I didn't know it was a gabagoo.
Yeah.
I remember Giovanni Gabagoo, but that was something different. But now I understand
the Prime Minister of Italy.
And it wouldn't be Giovanni, it'd be Giovanni.
No.
It would be Joopy-Joo. Joopy-Joo.
No,
that's what I would get called as a kid.
Yeah, that's something different.
Then they bring out the yellow stars. But
did kids ever throw pennies on the ground when you were a kid? Speaking of culture shock.
Yes, they wanted us to create copper wire in front of them, so they'd throw a penny between me and some other Jew.
That was the thing. When we were kids,
it was a thing when you were kids, throwing pennies in front of Jews.
I didn't do it, but some kids would do it like, that guy's Jewish. Throw a penny in the ground, I'll pick it up. Because they're so cheap.
Uh-huh.
You never heard this?
No. Are there any other cultural stereotypes you'd like to forward?
Yes, Scottish people also would pick up a shilling.
I got stabbed for about $1.35.
You got stabbed for $1.35.
Yeah.
Where?
Did I get stabbed?
Both. Where on your body you got stabbed, and what part of the world did you get stabbed in?
It was in my wrist.
Interesting spot.
I had the money in it. And they had my hand, and they said, let go. And I said, fuck you. And then they stabbed it. And then I let go. Magic.
So where was this? Then? What city?
It is magic.
Albuquerque.
Yeah.
Bugs Bunny did not help him.
I've lived in some gnarly areas of Chicago, for example, and I seriously think I've never been mugged in my life because people don't know that fat guys, it's a risk. It's like, is that muscle? We don't know if that's just blubber under there. I'm just a big fat guy. And they see me and they're like, could this guy beat the shit out of us? Is he like fucking...
So you're saying is that you personally create culture shock on people by your size?
Just to clarify, I was like 11.
Oh, got it. I was almost stabbed for $1, but I didn't actually get stabbed. I just had somebody... Actually, 2 people pull knives on me for the money that I had, and all I had was $1. But You know, that was in Glendale, California.
I think we should move on to your culture shock because you guys seem to have much more culture shock than I do.
I think my biggest piece of culture shock was when I moved from Washington State. I was living in Bremerton, Washington, and I moved to the Philippines. And the first part of it was getting off the plane, excuse me, when my glasses fogged up. And I went, okay, well, I've definitely moved into a different part of the world from where I was to where I am now. And then as we're driving down the road, seeing at regular intervals men with high-powered weaponry at the side of the road for no particular reason.
Like soldiers.
Right. Soldier. That was back when the Philippines was under martial law. I think it was repealed, I think within about 6 months to a year after I'd gotten there. But it was definitely something I had not seen before. And speaking of high-powered weapons at a particular spot, I remember experiencing that a second time when I was traveling in Europe, and I was in Amsterdam, at the airport in Amsterdam, and there were guys just wandering around the airport with high-powered rifles.
Was this after 9/11?
No.
Wow.
This is before 9/11. This is somewhere back in the 90s.
I thought gun control was totally like hardcore in Amsterdam. There's not many guns in the first place.
I think this was at the airport, probably to deal with terrorists, because terrorism was a thing back then. You know, it's not like anybody could have the weapons. It's just the military or police personnel were allowed to have weapons, you know. So this? Gun control is not for those people. Yes, this would have been like late 90s.
Late 90s.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
I think I saw Greg's Gabagoo.
That's not good. That's not a good thing. That would be a culture shock-a-con to reckon with. Greg's Gabagoo. Well, this is a good time, actually, since we're talking about food, to, of course, go into our newest segment. Not our newest segment, but our newest episode of Waspy Soda Pop.
At Safe Mart, it's a Safe Mart. Come to Safe Mart and be safe.
Safe Mart is a proud sponsor of Food is for Eating with Waspy Soda Pop. Today's special, raccoon penis, only $83.26 per centimeter. Come get some. Safe Mart. Be safe.
Food is for eating. Food is for eating. Food is for eating with Waspy Soda Pop.
Hey there, everybody. This is Waspy Soda Pop with Food is for Eating. Got a great new recipe for you. You are going to love this one. It is the famous Elvis sandwich. Oh, I can't wait to tell you this. All right. Get 1 tablespoon unsalted butter, softened, 2 slices of white bread, of course, 2 tablespoons of peanut butter, of course, half a large ripe banana sliced lengthwise into 4 thin pieces, yes, 1 previously used sock from Elvis Costello. You can find that on eBay. He's got a whole used sweat sock store. 4 slices of bacon, cooked, of course, and 2 tablespoons of honey. Oh, I bet you can taste this in your mouth already. Let's do the directions. Take the previously used Elvis Costello sock, place it in 1 gallon of water for 3 hours. Remove the sock, tightly squeeze it over the water mixture. Dip the banana slices in the Elvis sock water mixture, coat thoroughly, remove, and allow to dry. Preheat a grill pan or a griddle, whatever, over medium heat. Spread the butter on one side of each slice of bread. Spread peanut butter on the other side of each slice of bread. Place the banana slices that have been lightly coated with Elvis Costello sweat on top of the peanut butter. Top with the bacon slices, drizzle with honey. Top with the remaining slice of bread, buttered side up. Place the sandwich on the grill pan. Cook it till golden brown and crispy. Oh, only about 3 minutes per side. Remove to your cutting board, slice it in half, and serve it immediately. Now you have a tasty sandwich by Elvis, with Elvis, and if you have a friend named Elvis, for Elvis, and yourself. Well, this is Waspy Soda Pop. Food is for eating. Later.
I'm surprised that Waspy knows who Elvis Costello is.
Why would he not know? Elvis Costello has been an artist for like 40 years.
I guess I have preconceptions about Waspy being.
Oh, you're a racist, is what you're saying.
Yeah, country bumpkin.
Yes. You're an elitist. You're one of them New York elitists, is what you is. Got it.
Half Jew elitist. New York City.
You're not
from New York City.
You're not Jewish, though.
I thought it
know
was
what people
Italian.
think I am.
I know you're already pretending to be a number of different cultures and races. So why pretend another one, Greg? Is what I want to know.
Because people keep telling me that I am.
Yeah, people don't. You think they tell you that, or you want them to tell
What
you
do
that.
you mean?
You put the idea out there for them to do it. You're like, hey,
Every
call me
single
Jewish.
person I ask the past 20 years, what do you think I am? I always ask. They say, what are you? And I'm like, what do you think I am? They say, Jewish. Every fucking time.
That's because they don't know. So you're just asking imbeciles, basically, is what you're saying.
No, well, everyone.
Everyone in the
geniuses, world. Fucking road scholars.
Roadkill.
Yeah, every spectrum of intelligence. They all think I'm Jewish.
So you're just talking to people on the spectrum, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
But the spectrum goes up to like genius level.
Yes, savant. I've heard.
Exactly.
Right, Rain Man types.
Yeah, time for Wapner. You're Jewish. Time for Wapner.
And you're a really good driver without a license.
I got mistaken for Korean once.
I could see that actually.
That picture.
It's the accent.
Yeah, that too. You can't take takeout from my place. I'm gonna send bougie white guy out to tell
Wait,
you.
is that Samoan? What is that accent?
It was Darth Vader.
My name is Brendan.
It's Maori. That's his dialect
I am from
there.
Korea. I come down to Riva with my laser gun.
Yes, exactly. We should be going right into this next segment, for crying out loud. What am I? I totally forgot. Here we go.
He has an opinion, may not always be right. He's a real fake lawyer. He's old and he's white. Ask him a question, 'cause he's a good egg. For bogus advice, ask Greg. Ask Greg? Ask Greg!
All right, so if anybody has a question on YouTube, and meaning on YouTube it's basically one person watching, and actually with Sanchez Eldorado last week said, how can we actually ask a question of Greg? And I'm surprised that he doesn't know how to do that, since he has typed things into YouTube before. So I don't know why this is challenging for him. But this is the part of our show, everybody. When I say everybody, I mean, whoever in the future accidentally stumbles across this conversation where Greg is given questions from the audience, legal questions that he gives his inexpert advice for, because he's not a lawyer, everybody, and you should all be aware of that. He's not a lawyer, and any advice he gives should not be taken as real. But Brendan fields these questions from the internet, so I will turn this over to Brendan so that he can pass on a question to Greg.
Brendan's our IT
He
guy.
asked Greg.
That's right.
Yeah, he does all the internet stuff for us.
That's right, all the internet. So I have an email here. Dear Greg, this has to do with his citizenship status.
Greg's citizenship status?
No, the individuals.
Okay.
Who wishes his name to remain anonymous.
Okay.
Or Captain Pickles, is what he really wants us to call
So
him.
the two captains in one show.
Who knew?
Schmargy and Pickles.
Yeah, Pickles. They may or may not be related. But
I think the difference is this guy's actual first name is Captain, though.
Yes.
Okay,
Cappy.
that's the difference.
So Cappy here, he was a part of a group of people that left the United States because Barack Obama was elected president. They said they would. He said there was another group that left because Trump got elected, and he said a lot of them ended up in similar countries. But his question is, should he leave his new country? And if so, what country should he go to so he can be where people see things exactly like he does, or at least will never try to follow him? Something like that.
So what's the actual question to Greg?
Where should he go?
The pro-Obama guy who left the country.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't want to hang out with Trump guys who left the country.
Well, no, he was actually the guy that left when Obama got elected.
That's what I mean. But he doesn't want to hang out.
No.
So he wasn't pro-Trump, he was just anti-Obama.
Right.
Got it.
Oh, wait. Oh, yeah, sorry. Got it.
He doesn't say. He could have been Ron Paul, for all I know. I don't know.
Well, it makes sense that he should go to Barack Obama's homeland, where he was born in Nairobi, I believe, Kenya. So
Kenya. Okay.
That makes sense because that's where Barack Obama was born, and so I still haven't seen a birth certificate from him. And yeah,
You didn't look hard enough. I've seen it.
Go to Kenya.
Kenya. Okay, so less likely he's going to be.
Yeah, because the Trump supporters, the people who left. I'm sorry, now I'm confused. No, he shouldn't go to Kenya.
He should. Okay.
No, he should go to Russia. Sorry.
Russia. Oh, okay.
Yeah, because I got it now.
That's where that other guy,
he'd be like totally.
The guy that was like the lead singer of ABBA that got busted for hacking in a computer or something. What was that guy's name?
The lead singer of ABBA? Wasn't there 4 lead singers for ABBA?
No, the guy. I think he played the keyboard.
He was the lead keyboard player then.
Yeah, okay. I don't know if he sang. Maybe he did.
They all sang.
So I think that he should go to Russia because they would probably accept him as like a refugee. They'd be like, oh, you got to deal with this horrible.
Yeah, but weren't the Russians like pro-Obama? I mean, I don't think that they were against Obama, were they?
I don't think
they liked him.
So what's the visa regulations for this guy, Greg? I mean, like, how long is he allowed to stay, and what paperwork does he have to fill out to make this happen?
Well, did this person, Captain
Pickles,
anti-Obama, Captain Pickles, did he say that he renounced his U.S. citizenship?
He didn't say that.
Okay. So I guess, I don't know, like Russia would accept him as a refugee from a horrible, oppressive country where there was a black man who was in charge. They'd say, oh, we get it. Come on over. Just like we took lots of, people from oppressive regimes.
Right.
Okay. Well, thank you very much, Greg. That is our most recent edition of Ask Greg. So, that being said, getting back to our client. So,
Wait,
Greg or Brendan, what?
Can I just ask, where were the people who left because Trump got elected? Where did they move to, for the most part?
Mexico.
The ones that when Trump got elected, they left?
Like Trump, yeah.
Oh, they did like Trump. Yeah, they went to Canada and Mexico.
And I think, and some went to Europe.
Yeah. They went to the UK.
Which is now being overrun by fascists.
The UK or Europe?
Well, France and Trump-like people in England.
Trump-like people?
Boris Bad Hair.
Old orange
whatever
men.
His name is. What's his name? Boris Bad Hair?
Boris Johnson is been
Boris
kicked out of
Badanov.
office.
No, I know he's not. Boris Bad Hair.
I'm going to get you.
Boris Johnson has been kicked out of office, Greg.
Who's in charge of England now? Is England?
They're actually going through a whole thing right now to find a new prime minister.
I'm in charge of England.
Brendan is in charge of England. This is new. Actually, I had a question, though, for either one of you to answer. So, if you were to go anywhere in the world, where do you think you would experience the most culture shock if you were to go?
North Korea.
Okay.
Yeah,
I could see that. Yeah, one of the other things when I was in the Philippines was that right off the base, there was a whole like shack city, like that took up like a city block. This is back in like 1982 or so.
Town?
Yeah, it was like worse than a shanty town. It was, like I said, about a block. And I think within about a year, that entire area had been bulldozed. So all the people who were living there, I don't know where they went. But part of the culture shock also for that was you had to walk across a bridge from the military base into the city that was right outside the base. It was Olongapo City. And the river was well known for having, let's say, the waste products of the town going through it. It was affectionately called Shit River, but it was also called Olongapo River because the city was Olongapo City. Anyway, there would be often young women and young men in little boats, which were called banca boats. That was the terminology. Banca boats, B-A-N-C-A. And the girls would usually wear like a nice, pretty dress, and the boys would be basically there with their shirt off and in shorts because people would wing money at them. and then if it didn't land in the boat, it would land in the water, and the boys would jump off to get it from the water. So that was culture shock for me whenever I moved to the Philippines.
That was like OnlyFans before OnlyFans.
Well, maybe there wasn't any like actual sexual things going on there.
I know, but it's not OnlyFans either.
Poop.
Yeah.
Jump in.
Basically, yeah. But it was, if you had a bit of a mean streak, you would deliberately miss the boat, you know. But yeah, I mean, but then off base, like this this main strip. No, I never threw any money. But the main strip coming off of that bridge going into the main city was very interesting because it had so many different types of nightlife there as well as day life. So you'd have like a rock club next to a country club, next to a ping pong parlor, next to a disco, next to a massage parlor, which was basically a brothel, next to another rock club, next to another country club, next to a pool hall, next to another ping pong place, next to a beauty salon, next to another rock place, just up and down the street, you know. And it was very, very different from where I had come from. You know, Brendan's from Bremerton, so he knows it wasn't like that in downtown Bremerton, Washington.
You know what's so weird is that how much karaoke was going on probably at the time, and you never.
I didn't know of any karaoke happening in 1983 or 1982.
Wait. In 82 and 83, wasn't karaoke illegal?
I don't think it was. It had left Japan yet in 82.
I think it was homeschooling, karaoke,
buying lots of shoes,
Dungeons and Dragons, almost
shoe collecting.
No, not in the Philippines.
Yeah, is that Marcos? Imelda Marcos?
Yes. Yeah, it was
the
Imelda,
new guys,
Ferdinand Marcos were the
and the new guys of Marcos.
Dictators. Now, I was there, I think, when Aquino was shot. So that was sometime in about 84, I think, when the whole thing started changing and Marcos was kicked out of the government.
Yeah, and it's Bang Bang now, right?
Yeah, I think it's Marcos' son is now like president of the Philippines.
His name's Bang Bang?
Bong Bong. I think it's Bong
Bong.
Bong.
That's it.
Bong Bong Marcos.
Bong Bong Marcos. Bong Bong.
Yeah, there was a huge. Actually, I think John Oliver did a whole story about the fact that Bong Bong was running for president of the Philippines.
And he is now the president.
He won.
John Oliver is?
No, Bong Bong.
Yeah, John Oliver.
I don't think John Oliver would win.
I think if John Oliver ran for president of the Philippines, I think he's got a shot. I think he could pull it off. But he probably would need to be a native. He would probably need to be born in the
Philippines. Did you say they love Americans there?
They do. They do love Americans there. If you have a music career if you have a music career that's not doing well in the United States, if you go to the Philippines, you probably could make a lot of money as an artist there.
So me and Brendan can start a punk band?
I don't know how much they're into punk. I think they're more into like Barry Manilow type stuff. So I don't know.
We could come up with it. We could do it.
You know what I just found out? I never knew this my whole life. I grew up listening to Barry Manilow.
You know, typically when you say something I just found out, that would mean you didn't know about it your entire life. You don't have to say both. Right, but if you just found out about it, of course you didn't know about it your entire life.
Okay. Thanks for clarifying that. But did you guys know that I write the songs by Barry Manilow? He didn't write that song.
Yes, I knew that.
Okay. So he sang the song.
And as a matter of fact, my entire life up to the point when I found out about it, I didn't know that either. But I've known about it since then.
Did you know this? Before that
he
recorded that song, he made a vow never to sing a song written by someone else again. Because he had, early in his career, and then he was all like this purist who was like, I'm only going to sing songs I've written. But then he broke the rule to sing a song called I Write the Songs.
I don't think I've heard that story, Greg.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's true.
That's so nutty that, like, I'm going to break the rule for this blatant
It's nutty
lie.
if it's true, but we don't know that it's true.
I just want to get back to this point of what Matt was saying, where time starts here, and then it changes, and then another thing happens. And prior to that change, we didn't know. And then after that change, we knew.
Yeah.
It's like a TED Talk. I don't really think so like that.
I'm here to just spit facts. And a little bit of plaque on a horse as well. So
A tartar sandwich.
that just hits the screen, though. That doesn't go anywhere else. It does not go through the airwaves. All right. So, any other moments of? I do have another moment of culture shock, which was when I was very little and we moved to Ecuador, and so in our backyard we had the barrier to our backyard were cinder blocks that were about, I don't know, 8 or 9 feet high, and glued to the top of these cinder blocks were broken glass bottles, which were designed as, I guess, early barbed
It's
wire.
like barbed wire.
Right,
I've seen that.
but not wire nor barbed. It's broken glass. So that was unusual. And we
wire
moved,
nor
and I was very little. I was like 3 or 4 years old, so I don't remember ever seeing anything like that. Not only that, we had an iguana that lived in the tree in our backyard too. So
That's
Did that
pretty
shock
cool.
you? Did that fill you with shock and awe?
I went, so a little bit of awe, but it was an iguana. It was a thing that lived in our backyard. That was also the time in my life when I nearly got killed by a car. Was when we lived in Ecuador, because I was running across the street and got hit by a car.
Oh my God! There was a young lady somewhere.
Yes.
The last week, that was talking about having lived in Florida, and she's like, and the most amazing thing, there was these little lizards. They were everywhere, and I was just like, wow.
And they all had Brendan's head on them.
But it blew her mind. But anyway, it was culture shock for her because from up here, like walk out your front door and 5 lizards run in like 16 different directions. But
Were they
Florida,
geckos? Were those the main lizards?
we have geckos, and we had they're an invasive species. They're the little animals. They're little chameleons. Just really shitty little tiny skinny.
Yeah,
lizards.
we have the geckos in the Philippines too, and the interesting thing was they made the noise that gave them their name. So it was very fascinating every so often hearing kicker, kicker.
Oh, I love the geckos are cool. You said had them in this window, and if I turn on the light, all the bugs would kind of fly at the light on the other side of the glass. All the geckos would just sit there, just like all you could eat bugs.
Yeah, the other culture shock thing for me in the Philippines was similar to one in Florida, which was giant cockroaches that flew.
Right.
Those are not fun to
Hey,
have
there's in
to
Arizona.
address. I'm like they like dive bomb you. You're walking down the street, you get a freaking cockroach coming at your head. It was good to carry a racquetball racket in those circumstances, though.
Brendan, what was your biggest culture shock? When your parents got divorced?
It was probably seeing the polar bear in Alaska.
I was going to say there was a point where I had agreed to do this thing, and so this was Alaska, and I had to fly to this kind of remote part of the state.
You didn't have to. You chose to.
I chose to, and so we flew in, and I don't know what I was thinking. He lands, and it's just this field, and I'm like, "Where's the town?" He's gonna walk. There's snow on the ground. He's like, "You're walking about 2 miles that way. You'll see the lights."
Just keep walking.
This way. Yeah. Okay.
Just don't veer from that path.
This way.
Did you ever eat moose nose when you were in Alaska? Because I hear that's like a delicacy. It's like gelatinized moose nozzle.
No.
No.
I took a shot out of a walrus penis.
Was the walrus living?
No.
Okay.
I don't
Like,
think
did the walrus appreciate it at least? Did you give it at least the $5?
Oh my!
Make it rain to the walruses.
No, they have this long bone, and at this bar I used to go to, they just created a little funnel and then a trough down the middle of it. So you take this thing and then pour it, and you're drinking through it.
I never expected that we would have an episode of the show where we would have talk about 2 specific types of animal penises. So
But that's not as bad as the shot in Newfoundland.
What about Newfoundland?
The Newfies, remember there was a bottle of whiskey with a dead human toe in it?
Was that Newfoundland or was that a different part of Canada?
I thought it was the Newfies. Because they're like the rednecks of Canada.
Well, they're all over Canada.
Okay.
They're all over Canada.
The rednecks of Canada are Canadians.
Okay, but they're like the Florida of Canada.
Okay. Fair enough.
I think they're more like the Alabama.
wackadoodles.
They're more like the Alabama of Canada.
The
than Florida.
wackadoodles.
Yeah. The Florida of Canada is probably like Nova Scotia.
Yeah, they're up there like, we're gonna catch a whale.
I thought they were just like the New England of Canada. Because you just go up a little, it's like New England.
It's sort of just the country just flips.
Well, then so's Newfoundland. Then it would be like the New England of Canada. The similar part of the
they're
world.
weirdos there. According to 2 Canadians I've talked to, like Newfies, that's what they call them, Newfies.
Is that what they call them?
Which might be racist. I don't know.
Yeah, it's hard for us to know what would be racist in Canada, other than saying certain things about native Canadians.
Like Canucks isn't like offensive to a Canadian. It's just like a nickname, but it sounds like a slur, a racial slur. You get Canuck.
It sounds like if one of the Curly from the Three Stooges was in Canada. That's what it sounds like to me. All right. Well, I think that we've definitely done a good service, I think, to our client for today. Our client, Culture Shaka Khan. So that brings us to our final segment of the show. We haven't done in a while, but we've needed to. So it's time for this. This is The Last Word with Brendan Haggerty.
Zippity-doo-dah.
No talent simp.
All right. I don't know why you say that every time. So this is The Last Word with Brendan Haggerty, where Brendan gets to have the last word about whatever he feels like having the last word about.
Well, I'm glad to be here. I'm still adjusting to the Portland lifestyle, which is exceptionally white. And I spoke to a lady in some other part of the country who, spoke like they spoke back in Florida. It was kind of comforting to hear that. But no, I love it here. I love the beer. I love everything out here. It's nice to be here. I don't have anything else to say.
You have no actual rant to have?
I don't. I'm not. The heat is taking the rant out of me.
Well, this is the part I'm having trouble understanding because you just moved here from Florida, where it's horrible this time of year in terms of the heat, and the heat in Greg's apartment is comparable to being in Florida, is what you're saying.
It's not as humid.
It's not as humid. It's not.
I think I see steam coming off of Greg's body right now.
Yeah, I mean, take a look at what's happening beyond this curtain. Can we talk about that for a second? When the show is over, that curtain's opening up.
But I think what's helped Brendan with his culture shock, whatever he might have, is that there's legalized pot here. And whatever else happens, Brendan will maintain. Because he can just walk 2 blocks from my house and buy some weed. Not in an alley. Not in a ditch.
There was something to be said for those days,
So when
the
you got seeds and
action
stems,
nature of it,
and then you
Get
got
in a car with people you don't know to go to this place you've never been, to go inside to meet this guy.
Yeah, and then like just smoking it on the street and hoping the cops didn't see it.
Oregano.
Yeah. Oh my
You
god!
sold your oregano, and you were like, "Fuck."
Or like most of it was like seeds and stems.
And you're like,
and you like try to roll it, and it's like poking holes in your rolling papers. But Greg, you don't smoke pot, so
I don't.
You live in.
But I know
Portland.
people who like to smoke pot.
So what makes you think that Brendan is going to be hitting the cannabis stores when you don't hit the cannabis stores?
No, but I mean, if you're a pot smoker, Portland's fucking heaven. Well, Denver too, and Washington.
He's being watched. He's not the primary watcher. There's the watcher's watcher.
Watch is the watchman.
That's right.
Oh, that's a whole different show. We should probably go into a whole podcast about The Watchmen at some point.
Yes,
we can talk about both the movie and the TV show.
I've seen the movie.
I would like it.
TV show.
You didn't like the TV show, Greg?
No, I didn't say anything. I did like the TV show.
Oh, okay.
It's not as good as the original graphic novel, but it's a very interesting take. They did an interesting job.
Interesting.
By reimagining the universe of The Watchmen.
They reimagined the universe.
It's very different.
Like the entire universe, they reimagined it.
Yeah.
It's like now everyone is made of silk sheets.
Yep. And everyone's they're like
and everyone breathes.
animals.
They breathe neon.
The anthropomorphic animals is very cute.
Uh-huh.
Dr. Manhattan is a wildebeest. He's cute though.
Is he? He's a giant naked blue wildebeest.
His dick hanging out. His blue dick just like, hey, look at my dick.
It's like this is like the third animal penis we've like referenced today.
Yeah, Rorschach is a little fucking hedgehog. It's like,
You say he's a hand job?
hedgehog.
Hedgehog. Oh.
That's right. Then we wind up talking about Ron Jeremy again.
An anthropomorphic hand job.
An anthropomorphic hand.
That's the comic I want to read. I'm an anthropomorphic Dirty Sanchez.
Dirty Sanchez El Dorado, you mean?
Whoa.
Yes. Too soon.
Too soon. Too soon. No, it's a Me Too.
Me too.
Sanchez needs to like write up his complaint.
That's
what he needs to do. All right. Well, this has been a very odd episode of the Law Offices of Quibble, Squabble, Bicker. And, but, you know, it was entertaining. By the way, in about 2 weeks, we will be having a guest by the name of Eileen Shapiro. And want to, like, tout that for anybody who's interested. There are odd people walking up to my door. What is going on here? Anyway.
And about the Lord Jesus Christ.
I don't know which Lord they're talking about. I think it's just be like the Lord of the nearby castle, more than likely the castle of Johnson City. It's well known around here. The old Johnson City Castle looks exactly like a motorhome. Anyway, and our client for today was was Culture Shaka Khan. Brendan had the last word, which was all right.
Apparently not the last word, because we're still jabbering. But if any of our listeners out there have any feelings of culture shock, please email us.
Yes, if you have feelings of culture shock,
yes,
email us at qsblawoffices@gmail.com.
Someone cares. There's a 800 number right here.
Or if you go to our website at www.qsblaw.org, you can actually send us messages directly from the website itself, too. So there's that. So to answer Sanchez El Dorado's question from last week, if you want to ask Greg questions, you can email us or you can just message me on Facebook. We're on Facebook, too. We're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Reddit, Tumblr, iHive. We're on all sorts of things. You could YouTube, which is where people would be watching us right now.
Yeah, Sanchez El Dorado could make the whole fucking biography for Waspy Soda Pop, but he can't ask me a fucking question.
Yeah, I know. It's like he can't figure that part out.
No, he can figure it out. He just doesn't give a damn.
Well, that's different, and that's understandable. He shouldn't give a damn, actually. Honestly, it's like the fact that they give any kind of damns to us is like
I've helped a lot of people with my law advice. I've gotten letters from people that I've saved their marriages.
Like the letter R.
Yes. I've gotten many emails of how I've changed their life and helped them.
Oh, on a completely different note, I just wanted to relay this one little joke before we go. So I was recently watching some clip with David Blaine, the magician, on YouTube. And he did this magic trick with Jason Sudeikis and Olivia Wilde where she was holding onto a $20 bill and Jason Sudeikis had ripped off part of that $20 bill and then put it in David Blaine's mouth. And then David Blaine chews it up, swallows it, allegedly. Then he goes down and he puts his mouth around the end of the $20 bill where the piece was ripped off of. And he, again, just uses his mouth, puts his mouth around the end, pulls his mouth back, and then the $20 bill is whole that she had been holding the entire time. And one of the best lines I'd heard from seeing something like that was Jason Sudeikis going, "Oh, it's like a reverse bris." Which, and for those of you who don't know what a bris is, that's a circumcision in the Jewish religion, which made me think that David Blaine could, if magic didn't work out for him, he could go into business as someone who reverses circumcision.
Reverse brisser.
Right. That's something that he could do. Anyway, that's been in my head for like a day. I needed to get it out of my head. So thank you guys for being here.
Jewish people you think regret the bris and need to call a reverse brisser. You think many Jewish people are like, Shit.
I don't know if it's necessarily Jewish people, but there's a huge anti-circumcision movement out there.
Oh, I think because you said breast, so I was assuming.
They're with the anti-vaxxers.
Yeah.
I don't know if they are, but they certainly are their own thing. You know, they have like, they feel like a lot of the issues that men have is because they were circumcised as babies.
It makes sense. The first thing you experience, like in your first 2 days, is like, I'm gonna rip your penis sheath off.
No,
It seems.
I don't think that's worse than the actual childbirth, though, Greg.
I don't know. That's like an exciting thing. Like, oh, you
Oh, yeah?
swim towards the light, and you're like, I'm alive.
And you're squeezed out of a
But
pinhole.
then the doctor grabs your most precious part of your body. And
You don't know that it's precious at that time.
it
well,
means
it's
nothing to you.
painful. I bet they feel pain.
I don't know.
Sure.
Maybe.
So
Don't
that's
know.
your first experience.
Do you
One of your
remember
first
it, Greg?
experiences.
Do you remember it?
No, but it's still, I'm
Okay.
sure in my psyche it exists. Like,
Well,
the
you don't know
brain
what
is
else
very-
you may have experienced that caused more pain than that, you know? Because you
or
don't remember
pleasure.
it.
Maybe a doctor sucked me off, and I was like, "Oh, that's nice." My first experience.
Yeah.
I got a little baby blowjob.
I'm sorry, I didn't.
Somehow you wind up in extremely perverted circumstances, Greg.
I don't know if it's perverted.
You don't know that's not a perverted thing?
consensual. What if it's consensual?
I'm going to do a better job.
I don't
of
think
the last
infants are
word.
consensual about anything, Greg.
I
I'm
just
gonna do
wanted to
better
write a
job of the
song
last
called
word.
Little Baby
I'm gonna do a
Blowjob.
better job of the
That seems
last
like it would be a great pop
Greg,
tune.
you've caused Brendan to start chanting something, and we can't hear what it is.
So
I'm
ready
gonna
to
do-
now.
I'm going to do a better job at doing the last word. I'm going to do a better job at the last word so that this ends when I talk. I promise everyone and myself, mostly myself.
Little baby blowjob. Yeah, little baby blowjob. Oh, yeah.
All right. Well, this has been the Law Offices of Quibble, Squabble, and Bicker.
Your consultation with the Law Offices of Quibble, Squabble, and Bicker has ended. You may pay your retainer at www.qsblaw.org. Please exit to the right of the water cooler and grab a candy from the front desk. We hope to see you again soon, but you need to leave now. I said leave. Why don't they ever listen? Get out! Get out!